Syracuse, New York. Yes, you can have an Irish-themed beer celebration in Syracuse where the beverage of choice isn't green. Bars around the Syracuse area this month are welcoming a traditional Irish red ale that goes by the name Sullivan's Maltings Irish Ale. No, it's not black like Guinness Stout either. It's a beer brewed in Ireland whose only U.S. markets, so far, are in upstate New York. Its American debut came in Buffalo in 2016. Sullivan's was tapped to great fanfare, including bagpipe and drum, at Kitty Hoyne's Irish Pub in Armory Square last weekend. Habro Beer, rival to the new Congress brand, to launch in Syracuse. A grand new beer from Ireland deserves a grand entrance, said David Hoyne, who owns Kitty Hoyne's with his wife, Cindy. He invited members of a Syracuse family named Sullivan to join in by pouring the first pints. Sullivan's is also coming to central New York bars from downtown to Tip Hill, Baldwinsville to Manlius and beyond. See list and more details below. The beer, a malty, rich and slightly bitter red ale, has quite a pedigree. It takes a few pints to get the whole story. Sullivan's was the name of a brewery in Kilkenny, Ireland that opened in 1702, that's 57 years before Guinness got started. It closed in the early 20th century after the owner at the time lost money on a horse race. Had it remained open, it would be Ireland's oldest brewery. Among the partners in the newly reopened Sullivan's are members of the Smithwick family. You might recognize that name, pronounced Smithwick, if you frequent Irish pubs. You'll often find Smithwick's, also an Irish red ale, alongside Guinness. The Smithwick family had opened its own brewery in Kilkenny in 1710. When Sullivan's closed around 1920, the Smithwicks bought its assets, including the brand name. The Smithwicks continued brewing for decades, then sold their brewery and brand names, except for Sullivan's, to Guinness in 1965. Guinness later consolidated with other drinks companies to form Diageo, bringing the Smithwicks name under that corporate umbrella. In 2016, the descendants of the Sullivans and the Smithwicks got back together in the brewing business. They are working to build their own brewery in Kilkenny, and in the meantime brew it under contract at the Boyne Brewhouse in Drogheda, north of Dublin. The beer's backstory is especially intriguing to David Hoyne. He is a native of Kilkenny, where his family, including his mother, Kitty, operated a business that included a pub. The lure of the Sullivans, the Smithwicks and an ale from Kilkenny was hard for him to resist. Yes, that Smithwicks family, who had sold their original brewery to Guinness back in the day, he wrote in an email. They are back in the beer business with Sullivan's. I have had a few pints of it back home. Any ale lover will thoroughly enjoy a pint of Sullivan's ale in Syracuse, but why is this thoroughly Irish ale entering the U.S.? Market through upstate New York. The link is a New York City investor named Michael Mead, who is originally from Buffalo and still spends much of his time there. He got wind of the Sullivan-Smithwick effort to restore the Sullivan's name to an Irish ale. He invested in the business, and suggested his hometown as the first U.S. outlet. People say, there are millions of Irish bars in Boston and New York City, why didn't you start there, Mead said. But we're still pretty small, so we weren't ready for that scale, that size market. The thing is, the Irish diaspora, years of emigration, is strong in many smaller places, and that includes cities like Buffalo, Albany and Syracuse. That was the scale we could handle. To start, Sullivan's is distributed in Buffalo by Triumph Distributing, and in the Capital Region by the related Saratoga Eagle Distributors. In central New York the distributor is Spirit. Sullivan's will soon be found in places like Rochester and Erie, Pennsylvania. Its move into the Midwest starts in Cleveland this week. Meet the Sullivan's team as Spirit. Thursday, Sullivan's partner Dan Smithwick, a descendant of the famed Irish brewing family, will be on hand for a meet and greet at Coleman's Authentic Irish Pub, 100 Lowell Avenue. On Tip Hill, 7 p.m. Friday. Dan Smithick and Sullivan's Head Brewery in Hamilton will greet fans at Kitty Hoyne's Irish Pub, 301 West Fayette Street. Where to find it? Other central New York bars getting kegs of Sullivan's include the York in Armory Square, George Audia's and Nibsy's on Tip Hill, Acel's Pub in Camillus, Angry Garlic, Sammy Malone's, Potter's Pub and Pastas on the Green in Baldwinsville, Limp Lizard, Onondaga in Liverpool, Murphy's Law in Manlius, Home Team Pub in Liverpool, Hafner's Pub in Clay, McCarthy's Pub in Casanova and Brasserie Bar. Reach him at dkazenter@nyup.com, or follow him at nyup.com, on Twitter or Facebook.